Okay, so let's start with the new topic, that is bacteria. Now already we are covered two topic. First it is introduction to the microbiology and second it is microscopy. Now we are observed that in introduction of microbiology we observe number of different microorganism and their properties and applications of bacteria. Now, second point is regarding to how that microorganism can observe easily or with the help of different types of instrument or different types of microscope, how we are going to focus or identify the properties of the microorganism or distinguish the parts of microorganism. Now, these microorganisms are basically classified as a prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Now, those prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell, in that we observe the bacteria. Okay, so that bacteria, they are having their different types of properties, their size, shape, structure. So in this topic we are going to discuss all those points. So before starting that point, initially we have to know that the background behind the microscope, regarding to microorganism or the bacteria. So, microorganisms are too small to be seen without the use of microscope. Already we have discussed that point. Second point, the techniques such as sterilization and use of culture medium are required to isolate and grow these microbes. Okay, already we know that if we have to protect yourself, we required a sterilization from microorganism, and if we want to culture or if we want to develop those microorganism, for that we required specific type of nutrient material for their growth. This point we are also know that. Now the bacteria may be spherical, called as a cocci, may be rod shaped, called as a bacilli, may be spiral or filamentous. These are basic points. All those points we are considering in our this topic, that is bacteria. Now most of the bacteria, they can be divided into gram positive and gram negative group based on their cell wall structure and response to the gram staining. This point is very important as consideration of the topic bacteria, because up till now we know that on the basis of size, shape and structure we are going to distinguish the bacteria, but still there are again few points on the basis of we are dividing the bacteria. So by the staining, okay, by the staining we are identify the bacteria, as well as those bacteria stain. After staining those microorganism, again they are showing a different types of color. On the basis they are divided into gram positive and gram negative, because of the different characteristic or because of the different chemical present in the cell wall, they get stain and they shows different types of color. On the basis of that we are divided into gram positive and gram negative bacteria. Okay, and the bacteria such as mycoplasma, they are lack of cell wall. See, if your microorganism, they get stain, and if they are they are showing a color, and some microorganism, they are come in contact with stain but they are not showing any coloration or any differentiation, means that on the basis of that we are going to conclude that bacteria, they are from mycoplasma category, because they are having lack of cell wall. See, after staining, the cell wall get stained and it shows different types of coloration, and on the basis of that we are going to distinguish. So these are the basic background point regarding to your bacteria. Now we are concentrating on size, shape and arrangement of bacteria. The classification of bacteria, it is specially depend on the size, shape and arrangement of your bacterial cell. So first of all, cell size. Basically, when we are identifying or when we are concentrating on the size of your bacterial cell, they are most of the time they are dimensionless. Okay, so the diameter of your bacterial cell, it is approximately 0.2 to 2 micrometer. And if we are going to compare with your red blood cell, human red blood cell, it is about 7.5 to 10 micrometer in diameter. So you can imagine that how much of small your bacterial cell it is observed. Okay, then regarding to the length, 2 to 8 micrometer, it is a normal length of your bacteria. And cyanobacteria some cyanobacteria, they are up to 60 micrometer long. So these are depending on the different types of size, shape and connectivity of different types of bacteria among each other. Okay, now bacterial cell have large surface to volume ratio. Okay, so when we are going to observe that bacteria, they are having different types of component in that, and their volume, it is regarding to the surface and size of that bacteria. So there are few parts point they are considered. If we are consider they are close to the surface, when we are observing the microorganism or bacteria, they are quite closer to each other, because number of time we are observe it, they are bi in a structure, tri in a structure, quadra in a structure. So by their arrangement we are going to identify it. And second, can be quickly reach to the nutrient. For the development of that bacteria, they can easily reach to the nutrient material. These are the properties. Now bacterial cell size compare with the eukaryotic cell and viruses. Now here in the slide we can observe, if we are taking a small example, comparison between your bacterial cell and different types of viruses. First point, when we are observing the bacteriophage at the top of that slide, we observe that bacteriophage T4, it is having 225 nanometer in a size. And simultaneously, if we are taking an example of your poliovirus, it is having size very small, that is 30 nanometer. As we know that up till now, poliovirus, it is most poliovirus and basically bacteriophages, they are specifically having very small size. It is approximately 24 nanometer or up to the 30 nanometer. They are having minimum size. And simultaneously we are considering the example regarding to your Ebola virus. It is having size 970 nanometer. And when we are going to compare all those viruses with your E. coli bacteria, so it is having 3000 multiplied by 10,000 nanometer. So this much of size difference observed in your viruses and bacteria. So as compared with your virus, bacteria, they are quite larger in a size. Okay, then next point we are going to consider first regarding to the coccus. Now we are concentrating on the size and shape. So depending on the size and shape, our bacteria, they are individually divided. So first we are concentrating on the title, it is called as a coccus. So coccus means a spherical shape. It is very important to know when we are going to observe any type of bacteria, if that bacterial size and shape, it is specified. If they are observed in a spherical structure, they are normally termed as a coccus or cocci. Now may have the following arrangement. Okay, in that spherical shape, again they are having different types of arrangement. These, on the basis of that arrangement, again they are divided. So if your bacterial cell, they are having a shape spherical, and they are available in a pair, means there are two spherical shaped bacteria, if they are connected to each other, then they are termed as a diplococci. Already in the slide we are observed that purple color title, it should be indicate the specification of the number of your bacteria. So pair means your diplo means pair. Okay, so attachment by pair, so it is called as a diplococci, and they remain attached after division. cell after the cell division, they are again available in a pair form. So they are basically called as a diplococci. Then next it is termed as a streptococci. Now why they are termed as a streptococci? Because they are available in a chain-like structure. They are available in a chain-like structure. They are basically spherical shape and available in a chain. They are termed as a streptococci. Then next it is called as a threads. Thread means they are available in a group, but again that group it is 4. If we are observing that now the properties are increases, the basic first property, coccus means they are spherical. Now they are in a threads. Thread means they are having a basic number, it is 4. Now it is a group of 4, and if we are observed that they are specifically in a proper plane, it is divided into two different plane. In the next slide we can easily observe how they are divided into two plane. Okay, so thread means they are 4 in a number, 4 in a one group. Now next it is called as sarcine. Next it is called as a sarcine. Now the group get increases. Okay, the group get increases. Now in a one group they are having 8 in a number. Okay, now they are having in a 8 in a number if they are called as a sarcine. 8 in a number and divided into 3 different planes. Okay, divided into 3 different plane. Thread group of 4 divided into 2 plane, and sarcine they are number 8 and divided into 3 different planes. And next last it is called as a staphylococci. Now the staphylococci they are simply arranged like your grapes. Okay, everybody know that grapes they are randomly arranged as like a cluster as a grape structure and divided into the multiple planes. See, now arrangement of grapes it is not any specification, they are just randomly arranged, so they are divided into multiple planes. So after identifying all those points, in the next slide we are going to identify how they are specifically arranged. A common arrangement of your cocci, see we can observe in a first point, pair it is diplococci. If they are 4 in a number they are called as a thread. If they are in a chain form then it is called as a streptococci. If they are in a number of 8 they are called as a sarcine, and if they are having a grapes like structure they are called as a staphylococci. So in this slide we are easily observed how they are arranged, and on the basis of that we are going to distinguish. And as per the consideration of your plane, threads are divided into two planes, and our sarcine it is divided into 3 different types of plane. We can easily observe in this slide. Now the next point it is regarding to your bacilli. Okay, now this is the second shape. First shape we are specify they are spherical in a shape. Now second it is called as a bacilli. Now the bacilli, the shape it is like that of your rod shape. If your bacteria are rod in a shape they are called as a bacilli. Now again as consideration of your spherical shape, they are again multi classified. Now these bacilli they are also multi classified. How they are going to multi classify? They are classified as most of the bacilli appear as a single rod but also observed as a diplobacilli. Again, if we are observed it as a diplo, first it we called as a diplococci. Now they are diplobacilli. Diplobacilli means pair of attachment of your bacilli. So they are remain attached after division. Already we observed same point in a cocci also. So diplococci they are also available in a same attachment after your multiplication. And second class it is called as a streptobacilli. Again, strepto means they are chain like. So in a below diagram we can observe it, they are diplo as well as in a chain form. Okay, so basically it is divided into diplobacilli, and second it is divided into streptobacilli. Now third point it is also as it is cocobacilli. Now how we are going to conclude it as cocobacilli means they are having both the shape. they are having both the shape, means they are also having coccus means spherical shape. They are also bacilli means they are having a rod shape. If we are combining both the points, then they are show as a coco bacilli. So it is simply termed as intermediate shape between coccus and bacilli, means simply they are look like as a oval rod. In a blue diagram we can easily observe the end of your bacterial cell, they are oval in a shape. Okay, so they are termed as a cocobacilli. So again it is classified as diplobacilli, streptobacilli and cocobacilli in a three different point. And in this diagram we can easily observe, first it is single bacillus, then diplobacillus, then streptobacillus as a chain, and last important it is cocobacillus. They are having a spherical end or oval in a shape. Now the next, on the basis of, again, third point, it is spiral bacteria. Now the bacteria, they are more in a twist, they are having a twist structure. So on the basis of that twist structure, they are again divided into, first divided as a vibrio. First it is divided as a vibrio. It is very common shape. It look like as a curve rod. It look like as a curve rod, a bend. It look like as a bend rod. In a first A diagram, vibrio we can easily observe. And if we are considering the second, it is called as a spirilla. Second, it is considered as a spirilla, means now they are having bend shape as well as they are having helical or curve screw like structure. So helical and screw like shape, but they are having a rigid body. So these bacteria, they are having spirilla like shape, and it is used for specifically external flagella to move. This type of bacteria, they are having a specific curve shape. So for the movement, they observe a more difficulty. So for the movement of these microorganism, they are maximum time using that flagellum. Already we discussed about that flagella in a prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. So for the movement of that bacteria, they require the flagella. Okay. Now the third point or third class point of their spiral bacteria, it is spirochete. Third, it is called as a spirochete. Okay. Now the spirochete, they are helical bacteria with flexible body. First we observe that spiralum or your spirilla, they are having a structure, but they are observing the difficulty for the movement. But here the spirochetes, they are helical bacteria with the flexible body. They are having the flexible body. Still they are using the axial filament, internal filament to move. Means they are more motile as compared as that of your spirillum or spirilla as well as your vibrio. Okay, so these are the basic type of your spiral bacteria. Now up till now we are discuss about three different types. First it is cocci, second it is bacilli, and third it is your spiral. So afterward, means all those size shape of your bacteria are available, but still after that few bacteria, they are not belonging to all those category. So they are having star shape, flat, square and triangular type of shape. These are also available, and most of the bacteria are monomorphic. Very important terminology, that monobacteria are most of the bacteria are monomorphic. Monomorphic means they maintain a single shape, means bacteria does not changing their shape. Bacteria, they are having or taking for one shape and it should be continue or all the life. Okay, so they are termed as a monomorphic. Now however, the environmental factors may affect cell phases. Okay, so environment may be affect on the cell cycle or cell development of your bacteria, but still bacteria does not change their shape frequently or many more time. Now the basic point, it is micrococci. Micrococci. Now this is a family. The family Micrococci contain the gram-positive bacteria. Now we are moving toward the next point. It is gram-positive bacteria. The gram-positive bacteria basically they are having specific property. They are having specific cell wall, and after specific cell wall, they are having a proper staining material and stain color. Okay, so now we are moving toward our next point. So family, it is Micrococci. So Micrococci, they are having a specific size. It is 0.5 to 2.5 micrometer in a diameter. So that divided into more than one plane to form a regular or irregular cluster of your cell. Now see, up till now we are identify on the basis of size and shape, but these gram positive bacteria, they are quite difficult one. Now they are may be available in a proper plane or may be available in a irregular cluster. So on the basis of that size and shape, we can't identify that gram positive cocci. Okay, so for more identification, we are going toward the next point. So all are aerobic or facultative anaerobic. Now see, gram positive and gram negative bacteria. See, everybody know that what is the difference between aerobic and anaerobic. Means those microorganisms, they are using the oxygen or not using the oxygen. Now these gram positive bacteria, they are aerobic as well as facultative anaerobic. Means if they doesn't get that oxygen, they can easily survive. Okay, so they are quite difficult to handle. Okay, now the peptidoglycan diamino acid is L-lysine. Now why we are concentrating on that peptidoglycan? Basically, it is very essential component for the development of your cell wall, that is peptidoglycan. Now on the basis of that cell wall, already we discussed that gram positive and gram negative bacteria, they are distinguished on the basis of their specific your cell wall content. So peptidoglycan, it is a specific content of your microorganism cell wall, and also that peptidoglycan, they are having specific point, that is diamino acid, or specific chemical, that is diamino acid in a L-lysine form. Okay, so on the basis of that microorganism gram positive, they are distinguished. So those gram positive bacteria basically divided into three different points. First, it is Micrococcus. Second, it is called as a Streptococcus. Second, it is called as a Staphylococcus, and third one, it is called as a Streptococcus. So on the basis of those 3 points, it can be divided.